Often called the father of New France, Samuel de Champlain was a French explorer and navigator who mapped much of what is now Canada.
Samuel de Champlain is known primarily for having founded the city of Quebec, for also exploring and mapping the Great Lakes region.
Samuel de Champlain was born in Brouage, France in 1567 and learned the skills of a mariner from his father, a ship captain. Later, Champlain demonstrated his skills as a navigator in his own travels to the West Indies and Central America.
In 1603, Samuel de Champlain sailed to North America for the first time. He sailed as an observer on the voyage of François Gravé Dupont to report back to Henry IV. They traveled up the St. Lawrence Seaway, they made contact with the Native Americans, they reconnoitered for the fur trade, and then essentially they returned.
The following year, Champlain was asked to be the geographer for another French expedition to North America. This time he spent 3 years mapping what is now northeastern Canada and founded the city of Quebec in 1608.
Champlain was a very talented explorer, and among the things that he finds is the body of water that we now refer to as Lake Champlain.
After the settlement of Quebec, Samuel de Champlain realized that he needed the help of the Huron in order for the settlement to survive, and for the Huron, that meant a military alliance. So for Samuel de Champlain, that required fighting the Iroquois alongside the Huron.
After helping the Huron, Champlain returned to France and married Hélène Boulet in 1610, who at only 13 was 30 years his junior. Champlain then returned to North America to continue his explorations up the St. Lawrence River.
After going back and forth across the Atlantic several times, Champlain finally convinced some hardy French men and women to go and settle on the banks of the St. Lawrence River, and these people became the founders of the modern colony of New France, which we now call Canada.
In 1611, he explored further up the St. Lawrence River and settled the site of what becomes the city of Montreal.
King Louis XIII cut Champlain's explorations short when he ordered him to return to Quebec and act as its administrator. When the English captured Quebec in 1629, Champlain was taken to England as a prisoner of war.
Quebec was restored to France under the Treaty of Saint-Germain-en-Laye, and Samuel de Champlain was appointed as the lieutenant governor of the colony and able to return to Canada.
After spending 40 years of his life trying to establish French settlements in the New World, Samuel de Champlain died on Christmas Day, 1635, in the city he founded, Quebec.